Got one idea that I'm especially psyched out of my mind about. You know, it's one of those ideas where you're just like, yes!
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Dave Flynn?
On the radio.
Hold on to your butts.
Hey there, welcome to Dave Flynn on the radio, the #1 blogcast on the internet. I'm Dave Flynn, and since reading is hard, I'm going to do it for you. Let's be honest. I think you're fat. I mean, you're not fat. You just, you've let yourself go. What? I'm only being honest. No, seriously, you are pretty fat, but that's the least of your problems. Come on, don't be mad. Don't be like that. And so it goes with this honesty bit. Are you wearing that tonight? Oh, hey, that color? Yeah, that would look great on your sister. You feeling okay? You look a little sick. It's all good. It'll grow back. We are quick to tell somebody they've got toilet paper on their shoe and a bit slower to tell them they're doing work that matters, that they're making a difference, that they'd be the first person we'd call. Honesty, for most of us, is a one-way street that only runs towards criticism. The kind word, well, sometimes we swallow that. We swallow it for a lot of reasons, mostly because of what we think it says about us. But it might be the exact thing somebody needs to keep going. So let's dive in with A.J. Jacobs, Sly Stallone, and Rodney Dangerfield and see how just a little bit of honesty, the right kind of honesty, can go a long way. You can find more stories and essays like this over at winwithflynn.com. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's jump into the show. Let's be honest. A.J. Jacobs performs immersive experiments and writes about them. In The Year of Living Biblically, he tried to follow every rule in the Bible, right down to stoning people with very small pebbles, but still. In Drop Dead Healthy, he wore a protective helmet while walking the streets of Manhattan. Very healthy indeed. But it was an article he wrote for Esquire magazine that really stuck with me. It was called, I Think You're Fat. It's linked over on the blog, and you should absolutely go and read it. An experiment in radical candor, saying exactly what he thought all the time. He learned a lot, but the useful takeaway wasn't brutal honesty. It was something he called radical positive honesty. Why are we quicker to tell someone they have spinach in their teeth than tell them they look great? When people think about honesty, they default to criticism. No offense, but sorry, I have to say this. We feel compelled to correct. If you're being honest, you need to be positively honest as well. That means if you think to yourself, that's a great hat, that's a yummy sandwich, or an excellent coffee, you gotta say it. Otherwise, you're lying by omission. Keeping praise bottled up is just plain dishonest. Sly, quote, I don't have friends. I never went to a party, a bar, nothing, unquote. But on New Year's Eve, 1970, Sylvester Stallone found himself in Times Square. He looked around at the crowds of people and said to himself, quote, every one of these people wants to be somebody. I better go home and start working hard, 'cause this is my competition, unquote. But get to work on what? He'd come from a broken family. His mother told him the only reason you're here is because the hanger didn't work. He'd been programmed to think maybe everyone's mother is like this. His father's advice, which Stallone used as a line in Rocky, was, you don't have much brains, so you better get started using your body. An aptitude test he took at 16 only reinforced this idea. It said he had a number of deficiencies and should look at a career as an electrician's assistant or a tabs sorter. What the hell is a tabs sorter? But Sylvester felt that all he had was his brain. Maybe not the kind of brain that thrived in school, but the part of him that was different, that was worth something, was his imagination. He had an early interest in painting. He loved the movies. He loved story and spectacle. Eventually, he was pulled into an audition. In Sly, the documentary on Netflix, Stallone tells a story about that first acting gig. He got the lead in Death of a Salesman, Biff. He said, there was a Harvard professor in the audience that came up and said, you should think of this as a career. You should really do this. Stallone said, quote, that moment changed the course of my life. It didn't make him a success, but it made him feel like success was possible. And with that big imagination, he could see it. He couldn't land a professional gig, but those words kept ringing in his ears that he could and should do this. So he decided if he couldn't land an acting gig, he'd create one for himself. And over the course of just 3 days, the script for Rocky was born. Writer, director, actor. Who else does that? The list is pretty short, and none of it happens without those kind words, the encouragement, not from parents or friends, but from a stranger who said one honest thing at the right time. Simply telling them the truth when you see something with promise, not greatness, but the potential for greatness. Not when it's undeniable, when it's still a maybe, because that's when people are most likely to quit. You see something good in someone and keep it to yourself? That's a missed opportunity. One of these. Rodney Dangerfield had a bit about this. Quote, like everyone else in showbiz, I like applause. But I'll tell you, there's something that's more important than applause. It's just when I walk off. If you'd all give me one of these. Dangerfield flashes the OK sign, thumb and forefinger together in a circle. The audience laughs. Of course, that laughter is what he's really after, but that OK sign can mean a lot. He says, tomorrow you'll say to yourself, hey, that guy last night, he was all right. I should have given him one of these. Not right now, he says. On the way out. Just a quickie. It doesn't mean nothing to you, but it means something to me. He explains, when I see the other guys, they get a lot of these. He flashes the sign again. I never get one of these. But, as he points out, the audience might not want to. They'd sit there thinking, him? One of these? Motioning the OK sign once again. Never. Not him. And it's exactly how we withhold our praise. There's a gentleman that I think of often, but have only met one time. He must be nearing 80, with a son about my age. After throwing a few innings to close out a tournament, he approached me as I walked to my car. He was headed home with his son, a player from the other team. Hey, great game out there. You played great this whole tournament. Oh, thanks, thank you, I said, as I slowed my commute just a bit. You guys played great too, I said. He took another step towards me and lowered his voice just a bit. You know, you've got a great delivery. The movement's there. Just don't let these coaches, he motioned towards my dugout. Don't let these coaches overuse you like that. It's too many innings. You got to take care of that arm. I always think of that moment when I see players on competing teams. They deserve to know. Like A.J. Jacobs said, if you aren't radically, positively honest, that feeling, that regret, it'll linger. It doesn't mean nothing to you, but it means something to them. And of course, Here is the bit from Rodney.
That's about it. I'm at the end of the line. Like everyone else in this thing called showbiz, I like applause, but I'll tell you, there's something to me that's more important than applause. May mean nothing to you, but a lot to me. It's just when I walk off, if you'd all just give me one of these. I mean, I see other guys, they got a lot of these. I never get one of these. Not right now, on the way out. I'm always hanging around, a little quickie, it don't mean nothing, you know what I mean? Because I'm the kind of guy, tomorrow you'll say to yourself, hey, that guy last night was all right. I should have given him one of these, you know? Even if you're not sure, you give me one of these, you can always take it right back, it don't mean nothing. Plus, what am I asking you for? It costs you nothing, because I got nothing going for me. I'm no handsome singer with girls wait when I walk off. What am I asking you for? For what? No, not you. You're all just sitting there looking at me, aren't you? Sitting and looking, all of you. Saying to yourselves, him? One of these? Never, not him. We know him. He's in show business for one reason, girls. He wants to get girls in hotel rooms with booze and swing. That's what he wants. How wrong you could be. Because I'm in this business for one reason. To earn enough money to buy a farm. That's all I want is a good piece of bottomland. I want to sweat with the oxen. And at night, I want to hear, come and get it, come and get it. Oh, the farm. I want to fetch things. I want to pay my doctor with a hog. I want to live by the good book. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. How do, Miss Amy? Oh, the farm. And I'll work the farm with my bare hands and build it up, and someday I'll sell the farm at a big profit. And then I'll get the broads in the room with the booze, and I'll swing with it. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you very much.
There we have it. That's the pod. Thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, please share it with a friend. Give it a thumbs up. And if you've got a few extra seconds, give it a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you are listening. The engagement will make you feel so good, and it'll help other people find the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right, there you go, America. I love you. I'm proud of you. I mean it.
You gotta go.
We gotta go. This is great.